Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast, a safe place created for all women to come relax, get inspired, and be constantly reminded that they have not lost the ability to be who they once were. Join us as we dive into the true meaning of rediscovery through inspiring guests and topics such as healing, self-love, and creating a positive mindset. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we dive into this week's episode. Here's your host, Mack.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Beauty and You podcast. I am so excited to be here with our special guest, Britney Williams. She is so amazing. Her story is amazing. It really resonated with me, and I just cannot wait to dive deeper into her rediscovery journey. So, Britney, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, I did a little snooping because I like to snoop on the people that I'm interviewing. And let me tell you, your threads are dope, man. Like, they are so real and so organic. Like, talk to me about that. Like, what's up? Like, that platform is like, for real, popping for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I was trying to figure out what to do on there because, like, at first I was like, it's just another Twitter. But then, like, I started exploring more, and I found my voice as I kept posting. And I'm like, because I started off as a fitness influencer, so I've always been trying to help people. So, like, the dialogue on there just kind of evolved into me wanting to better people, to reach that 1% as much as possible with, what I'm saying. Like, if I can help somebody, then that's great.
Listen, I get it. That's how I am too. And my goal, if I can touch one person with my true journey, I am so for it. And you're so open on there. You're just like so open about your journey, and you're like toning up and working on, like, you're just so open, and I just think that's really cool. I'm not a Twitter person. I don't know. I still don't know how to use Twitter. Don't judge me. And Threads, I connected with Threads too, but I still have not really found my niche with it yet. But I do like to go on there and just like read other people's things, and you definitely inspired me because I'm still trying to get my fitness together, so don't judge me. But just tell me a little bit more about your rediscovery journey. We'll get into your brand a little bit later and, like, what you're doing with that. But just talk to me about your rediscovery journey.
So I've been on it for about 3 years. Like, I've been on this fitness journey because, like, before then I was just tired, uninspired. I didn't want to do anything with myself. I was just at a very low point with it. And, one day I just decided to, like, hey, let me just go work out. Like, that's always good therapy. And so, I started small with, just doing, like, walking on a treadmill, doing some weight training. And then, like, I don't know, like, forging that discipline got me excited to keep trying to, like, be myself, bettering myself as opposed to just sitting around in the background, because, I feel like life is more than that. And that's kind of how I got there. I started watching all these influencers and vloggers, and I got really inspired to start documenting my journey and showing people that, hey, you can be this regular person, but, like, as long as you're showing up every day, you're an athlete. Like, you're an athlete, you're a musician, you're whatever that you put your energy towards. And I wanted to just, create like not a foreground, but foundation for that. And so that's kind of how I got to where I'm today.
I think that's really important. As long as you show up and you're being consistent for yourself, it still matters. A lot of times, especially on the social media platforms, Instagram and, the pretty squares, and you start looking at other people's journey and you're like, oh my God, why can't I do that? Or why is my video not viral? Or why can't I? And it's like, listen, as long as you're showing up for yourself each and every day, you already winning. You're already winning. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. Like, you got to do it for you.
100%.
100%, so I am very proud that you found your way and you're out there inspiring, one person at a time. And so let's just get into your brand. You have No Lotus, No Mud. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, No Mud, No Lotus started when I was in college. I got obsessed with Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if you read his books before, but he wrote this book called No Mud, No Lotus. So essentially the book is all about, like, a lotus sprouting from the mud, like going through all those hardships and becoming, like, blooming into something beautiful. So I kind of wanted my brand to represent that. Like, I wanted everybody to see me going through what I'm going through, and then blossoming into like this great person through helping small businesses and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs like kind of like stop being an underdog and like shine bright through like my designs or like my coaching that I'm also trying to get into.
That's so important. Just giving everyone that platform and showing them that, they too can do it too. Our journeys, it's so crazy because every person has their own personal journey. And even with me starting my brand, it comes from, I say, a place of, I don't want to say a place of hurt, but maybe it does. Like it starts off bad. Like you're just in this place where you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see the light. And then you find a light, and then you kind of go back and like, damn, that was tough, but I kind of needed to go through that. But then you go back and forth like, but did I need to go through it that bad to get to where I am,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just one of those things where it's just like, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to, share it with everybody? Am I going to use it to benefit, or am I going to keep it in? And I'm not going to lie. Like when I first started, I was ashamed to kind of tell my story. Have you ever felt like, conflicted a little bit?
No, I've always wanted to share my story with others. I'm kind of like an open book in real life. So
Okay.
like I feel like if you know what's going on with me, then you're up to speed basically. You don't have to guess what's wrong with me or like what I went through and all that.
I think that's dope. That's awesome. That's a lesson that I really had to learn. Like I was just so embarrassed. And I did feel like I was the only one that ever went through something, which like that's not true. We know
Right.
that. But I did feel like that. And I was ashamed for a very long time, on sharing my journey and trying to inspire other moms and talking about things like depression and anxiety. Those are deep. But now that I can share it, it's like therapy.
Yeah, it is like therapy. I definitely agree.
Definitely like therapy.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself going? Where do you see yourself doing?
In the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, just where are you trying to take it?
Definitely I will be gone from my 9 to 5 by next year. So that's one goal I'm gonna hit with this business. I don't know, just kind of like going with the seeing what happens, seeing where I land. I kind of don't have like a trajectory. I just kind of want to like put myself out there and shoot my shot and see where I land.
Yeah, the best thing about it is just doing it. Like taking a chance
Yeah.
and really doing it. Leaving that 9 to 5. Listen, I feel you. I feel you 120% because that is something that I do struggle with myself because I am a soldier. So I'd be like, y'all get on my nerves. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. But then I struggle with I struggle with, do I throw all the time away? And then I struggle with, I like the mentoring part. I like to mentor other African American soldiers, because our journey's different. And it's important to find somebody that looks like you that can help you along the way. And so those are kind of the things that I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm ready to go. And then I'm like, well, maybe I can still
Am
mentor
I?
them. Yeah. Like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
But ultimately I do want to hang it up. I do. That's my ultimate. It's like, I'm ready to hang it up, and I give myself I think I gave myself like 2 years, like in the next 2 years, if I hit this point, this is what I want to do. But then, like I said, it's just that battle, that back and forth.
Right. I understand because it's like you like the security of a 9 to 5, but you want your freedom. I'd rather have my freedom.
Oh, and that part. Having that freedom and the days that I'm off, because TCM, I love doing TCM, the Quita Mack. I love talking to my moms. I do this all day. It's not work. It is work, but it's not work because it feels good. And it's what I
Mhm.
want to do. So, and I do struggle if I have days off and then I love doing this. And I'm like, oh, so bad. I don't want to work for nobody no more. I guess I'm tired of the people telling me what to do too.
That part.
That part. So, I
That part.
know, like, you are a very determined person. You are definitely on your way. So I know, like, even though you're like, I'm just going with the flow, I do truly believe you're going to hit every milestone that you have planned for yourself because you're definitely an inspiration.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to someone else who they want to leave their 9 to 5. They want to do something for them, but they're just afraid, like I was in the beginning, like afraid to tell my story and share my journey. What would you say to them?
I think you should lean into that fear and kind of like see where it takes you and ask yourself, like, why are you afraid to leave? What's holding you back? Because the only person holding you back is you. Like, nobody else can do that.
That
So,
part.
like, I feel like you need to get out of your own way and just kind of like, go for it, because you only have, like, not to be corny, you only have this one life. So I rather not have regrets. Like, I rather just go after what I want, which is what I wanted. I decided, like, hey, I don't want to do this 9 to 5 anymore. It's not aligning with my spirit. And now I'm making my plan to leave. As long as you have a plan and you put your energy and your heart into it, like, you can do whatever you put your mind towards.
That part of like doing what's aligned, with your spirit and getting out of your own way. We are seriously our number one enemy. Like, we are so hard on ourselves always. Like, the negative thoughts that come in, like, we're feeding those, we're allowing them to consume our brain. And it's like, hold up, wait, like, I'm literally
Right.
doing this to myself, or spiraling out of a whole situation in my head that didn't even happen for real. It's just like, it's like the craziest thing. But one of the things you said, like you said, getting out of your own way, and having a plan to understand why you're doing something. Like, I have been doing some deep self-reflecting. I'm really big on journaling, because if I
Hmm.
write it down, I can go back and revisit it. And so it kind of helps
Yeah.
me, like, okay, well, I'm not doing as bad as I thought. And so I recently had a birthday, and it was tough. Like, I'm not old or nothing. I'm just saying, like, it was tough for me. I turned 37, but part of my brain was like, oh my God, you're almost 40. Then I had to pause it, girl, stop. Everything's a blessing. But part of my reflecting was like, what are you doing for you? Like, seriously, like, what am I doing for me? So this last years, my son is 15 years old. So even maybe a little bit before he was born, I feel like my hustle, trying to make it, my hustle has been just that. It's been a hustle. Like, I've been doing everything for everybody else and not really doing much for me. Like, yes, I'm taking care of my family. That's my job. But I was doing a lot of things to
Right.
prove everybody wrong. Like,
Hmm.
you had your son young. You're not gonna graduate college. You're gonna drop out. You're gonna be a statistic. No, watch me work. Right. So you do that. And then it's like, oh, well, he's going to be this, he's going to be, so you work really hard and you get him in the best schools and you do. And it's like, I've been doing all this shit for everybody. Like, yes, I'm happy that, it's success, but I'm tired.
Right.
I am tired. And so the next 37 and beyond, because Lord, hopefully I just, keep getting older, I'm going to do it for me.
That's so important. That is so important.
Like, that journey for yourself. Have you ever found yourself dealing with that before? Something similar?
Yeah, my memory isn't working right now, but I feel like I have. Like, I feel like that's something I struggled with, and I overcame it, because, like, everything is temporary. So, like, even this feeling I'm going through, that's a temporary thing. I'm not going to feel that way a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. So that's kind of how I put things in perspective when I feel myself getting that way.
And I think that's a very important way to think. And that's something that, I wish other people could think of too. Like, this feeling is temporary, or this situation is even temporary. We go through things in waves and seasons. We meet people even in seasons as well. Like, not everybody you meet is supposed to be there forever. Like, you're supposed to take what you need,
Yeah.
take what you need from that. And, and that's kind of hard too sometimes, because you
Bye.
get connected to certain people, but you're like, hold up, like, you only here for a season. I feel it. Season's over. You gotta go. So
Got to get out.
listen, you gotta go. I don't know what you thought this was, but you gotta go. And so it's just really important to spread that knowledge, like, listen to what she said, y'all. Listen, like, it's only temporary. Everything that you're going through, it is only temporary. And you have the power to get out of your own way and succeed. Like, your messaging is so deep. So deep.
Thank you.
Like I said,
try.
I love all of it. I love everything that you're doing. Do you have anything going on right now, like in your location, like for your business, or anything that you would like to share?
Not currently. I'm still trying to get it off the ground and, gain some more clientele. So that's like the main important goal for me right now, is just to kind of network and put myself out there in new situations and see what happens. Like, see if I can get any collaborations,
Yes, collaborations is huge.
Mhm.
So big, as you're on your journey and you're expanding your brand. Yeah, collaboration is big, definitely big. And I'll definitely look out to see like if there's any people I can connect you with, because you're just such an inspirational person.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. At times, like you just never know who you're gonna meet and what your purpose is, for meeting them and what they bring to the table. And it's just like I said, your mindset, your way of thinking is definitely like resonates with me, especially with what I'm doing. And I just really, really do appreciate that.
And you got me cheesing in the club right now.
Cheese, boo, go ahead, cheese. No, but thank you so much for joining me on the Beauty in You podcast. This is a big step for myself as well. And so, you being a part of it, you're always a part. You're stuck with me now. I tell everyone you stuck with me, like we stuck. I'm sorry.
All right, bet.
Should have told you in the beginning, but we kind of stuck together. But like I said, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. And, we'll be forever connected.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Beauty in You podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Visit us at thechiquitamack.com or join us on Instagram at thechiquitamack for your daily motivation and inspiration. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time.